I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I wanna.
Hey guys, it is Nico and Jordan here with Springs Pickleball. I am director of Springs Pickleball, and Jordan is the tournament director. And we wanted to give you guys a update on tournaments in 2026. We have a lot of exciting news that we want to talk about and give you guys the lowdown on. So, welcome, Jordan. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Nico. I'm excited to get into it.
Awesome, man. Well, we just completed kind of our first tournament hosting and working together. The Winter Classic was a couple weeks ago, and felt we got a ton of great feedback about how it went and how it ran. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I felt good. It's my first tournament with Springs Pickleball, and people seemed happy. We had a lot of comments about great competition, and everybody loved the player input scoring, and it moved really smoothly. Not a lot of breaks in between, so that was great to hear.
Yeah, yeah, and I actually competed in it and enjoyed the system quite a bit. So I think we're going to continue doing that moving forward, and it was very competitive, which was awesome. So wanted to talk a little bit about some of the changes that we were going to make. Getting some of that feedback from the first tournament, we want to talk about that, but also some of the additions that we're excited to add. And one of those is, we want to really provide an experience that is unique and different and cool. So one of the big things we want to do is have actual live commentating. We did stream all of the courts, which I think was really successful. We had I think over 3,000 viewers in for the tournament throughout the weekend. So a lot of families getting to watch their people play, but we actually want to add even live commentating on the championship court and during the medal rounds or even throughout the day. So we're going to be doing that in our next tournament. So really excited about that. I think that'll be really fun and engaging. Also having like a live chat that you can talk to us during the tournament, answer questions. So expect that for the next tournament. Really excited about that. Also, we want to we're going to create custom medals for our tournament. So we've ordered that and designed that. So just something really kind of cool and special to keep on keep with you if you win. So excited about that, as well as wanting to have better prizes. So we're going to be working with sponsors to create kind of better prizes for the winners, and maybe some goodie bags, maybe you know for the championship, which we'll get into. Some really legit stuff that you want to win. So that's all in the plans. So excited about all of that. So okay, moving on. I did want to talk about maybe have a discussion around something that we did have a lot of feedback on, positive and negative or frustrations, is how we approached the duper and the divisions, and duper is just such a interesting puzzle to figure out, Jordan, and maybe you can kind of give us you know your thoughts on why we did what we did, and maybe explain even what we did, and what we learned from doing it first time and how we're going to approach it moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So we know a lot of people have some issues with Duper, and some players, think that they're a little bit better than what their Duper shows, and we totally get that. That definitely is the case, and the Duper algorithm can be a little messy for people, and some movements don't make sense. So we're trying to be flexible with how that works, but also create a good tournament experience for everybody. So yeah, with our last tournament, we made sure people's Duper ratings fit within 0.25 points of the division that they were playing in. A lot of people were moved, mostly down. Some people were moved up, but generally the whole tournament kind of shifted downward by a little bit. And some people were, rightly frustrated with some of the moves. You want to play up, you want to play more competitive. Maybe you're a good half point better than your duper, so you want to play where you feel like you are competitive, and that's totally understandable. The idea we have with keeping the duper restrictions pretty tight here is to ensure a balanced tournament. Everybody has similar competition throughout the event. Playing up too high can kind of create a more lopsided division, which can have your opponents maybe not super thrilled with some of those matchups. Another idea is that we want to make sure that when you win a game in these tournaments, that your dupers should be moving up or staying about the same. If we have more lopsided divisions, you have to worry about winning by a lot of points to
Right.
get your duper to go up. So that's a big thing we're trying to work on. And if we enforce this over the long term, we think it'll lead to more accurate dupers for everybody else as well. So if you maybe are a 3.2 and your skill is maybe closer to a 3.8, and you want to play in the high threes or the low fours, we are kind of blocking that for now and making you play in the 3.0 or 3.5 level. But if you are truly, above your duper and you'll do well in the tournament, maybe even medal, your duper will go up because everybody else's duper will be lower. And then in the future, you can compete in those higher levels.
Exactly. And I'm glad you're saying all this because I think a lot of tournaments that I've competed in, I compete very regularly, have you're able to sign up for basically any division you want.
Yeah.
And that feels great for me, ego wise or something like that, I can play in 4-5 or 5-0 or something like that. But realistically, what happens is, yeah, I get my butt kicked, and I'm really only playing, for duper, or like I'm going to score 3 points and then my duper is going to go up, and I feel like that really takes away from the integrity of really the game and of competition, and so for us to do this, I think helps, bring a little bit more balance, and really the focus becomes more about winning and not by how much you're winning by, and so
Yeah.
and I think that's what we experienced in the Winter Classic. I mean, I saw very very competitive brackets, really no free games, and personally, I enjoy that more than having a lower seed come in and just a really free easy game. I just don't think that enhances the experience for really anybody. So we know
Yeah.
it's flawed. We know we're doing, I think, our best we can to with the system. But I think we both feel pretty good with how we're moving forward with this, and think in the long run, like you said, it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, and we totally believe people that they're better than their duper shows, and that is definitely the case for a lot of people. So we're not saying we don't believe you, but we think that this will help get your duper to a more accurate spot. It might take a couple tournaments to get there, but we think it'll help, and it won't help you get up, at the cost of somebody else having to win by a lot of points to keep their own duper intact. So we think it'll lead to more accurate dupers and a better system in the long run. One other change that I haven't mentioned yet is we're going to be a little bit more strict on your partner duper as well. We want to make sure that you and your partner are relatively close in your duper for the same reasons that we just talked about. If you're a 4.0, your partner is a 2.8, and maybe they're truly a 3.75, right? And so they want to play with you, and we get that. But by keeping that separation kind of away from our tournaments, it'll help everybody else's dupers be more accurate and have a more balanced game. Having that separation of duper can create a more flawed dynamic with how duper scores are calculated after a tournament. If you're widely separated and you're playing somebody who's not, it could it can make competition a little bit less competitive, and those duper scores may not move as much for you at the end. So we're going to be a little bit more strict on that going forward. Again, just for balance, for competition, and for more accurate dupers in the long run.
Awesome. Another option, I think, also for people that we've learned about recently is the duper reset. So I mean, definitely take advantage of that if you're out there and you feel like you've played so many matches and your duper doesn't move that much and you feel like you're higher than it is, this is a perfect or a great opportunity to, you know, kind of get a fresh slate of game of reliability and play some games and get that duper that you think you're at. So definitely take advantage of that, and I think that would definitely solve some of those issues as well. So okay, well we want to move on to talking about, you know, I think the big news for us as a club, and something that me and you've been talking about. You know, this was actually Jordan's idea, and I was super pumped when he brought this up because I think it's going to be really really fun. So it is our Springs Pickleball Championship Series, and you know, maybe Jordan, you can talk to us about what that is and the exciting the exciting news moving forward.
Yeah, so the idea here is that we're going to have a long running championship series for 2026. And the idea is that it's going to create a longer lasting competition throughout the state to prove that you're better than one tournament, right? So every tournament will have three major events. The Winter Classic that we just had will be one that will be included. The second will be the Rocky Mountain State Games coming up in July. And then we'll have the Fall Classic, date to be determined. And then for each tournament, you will get a set number of points based on how you do in the tournament. You'll get points for which medal you get, for wins that you get in the tournament, and where you place in your division. So you'll have points for how you finish in the tournament, and we'll keep track of those points and post those on our website. And then after the end of our series, a certain number of teams will qualify for the final championship tournament. That will be the end of this year or early next year. In addition to the three majors, we will also have one qualifier tournament towards the end of the year. That will be the last chance for players who have not yet made it into the championship tournament to play each other and play in for those last few spots to make it. For that final tournament, we'll have bigger prizes, like we mentioned. It'll be invite only to only the players who have had enough points to qualify for the event.
Awesome. Yeah. So and the and the goal as well is, you know, that champion, the Springs Pickleball Championship, the big tournament at the end of the year or early next year, you know, that's going to be for some legitimate prizes. You know, so you'll definitely want to be in that championship, and there's a reward for the year long work of gaining points and everything. So so you mentioned, you know, that players would be able to track their points. Like where would they be able to do that? Or how would that look?
Yeah, so we're going to have a list of each division, and each player will have their points listed out on our website. And we'll have every point updated after every tournament. And so you can see where you're at and how close you are to that qualifying position. We'll have everything finalized and how many spots that we're going to take for that. So you can see if you're in the running or not, and if you're just outside of it. We will also allow players to qualify individually. So you are welcome to play with one partner through every major and qualify together and play together for that final tournament. Or if you maybe mix up your partners, that's totally fine too. All of your points will be assigned individually.
Nice.
So if you want to, mix up your partner, you can, but you must play with someone else who has qualified in the final championship. So if you qualify, you cannot play with somebody who has not qualified.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, if I'm experimenting with partners throughout the year, that's totally fine, but the points will count. But for that final, I need to have someone that also qualified for the final throughout the year.
Exactly.
Okay.
Only your points will matter, and everybody who is in the championship at the end will be people who had enough points to make it in.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I love it that it adds another layer, you know, to the year and, you know, something to keep track of. And so yeah, we have those major tournaments coming up. You know, and like you did say, the Winter Classic, we will add that to the points. So we'll start if you've competed in that tournament, you already got a head start on the points. And what is the next tournament that people can get points in?
The next tournament will be the Rocky Mountain State Games. That's up on pickleballtournaments.com. You can sign
Awesome.
up now, and that is in early July.
Early July. Awesome. So yeah, we'll post a link to the state games below. So definitely sign up for that one. That's going to be one of our majors. Um, really looking forward to that. Yeah, if we're gonna plan to have the commentating and everything for that tournament. Um, awesome. Trying to think what else is on our list here, Jordan. Um, oh, we do have some non-major tournaments coming up. One that is, I think a cool idea that our boss Scott had, and maybe you can talk about that tournament. It's a split age tournament. Maybe you could tell us about that.
Yeah, so the split age tournament is going to be something we're doing, kind of a fun tournament. It will not be logged to Duper, so you can come play with any partner. The idea is that you and your partner are about 15 years apart in age or more. If you're a little bit less, that's okay. The idea here is, we're gonna have a fun time. You play with somebody new that you don't normally play with in tournaments. We're seeing a lot of interest from, parent kid uh, teams, things like that. So yeah, sign up for that. That's also up on pickleballtournaments.com. And the Duper restrictions for that are not quite as tight. We're doing combined dupers divisions. So one division is 6.5 to 7.5. So if you and your partners combine dupers fall in that range, then that would be the division for you. We'll have an open division that's 8.5 and above. But again, we're going to be less strict on those combinations. So if you want to play up, you can. And yeah, the idea is to play with somebody new and have a lot of fun.
Awesome. So yeah, we're kind of shooting for like a 15-year gap between players. So
Yeah,
cool
ideally that would
opportunity.
be good.
Yeah.
But we're not going to say no if you're 10 years apart or something like that.
Okay.
So
Cool. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be really fun and more of a social tournament just to have a good time. So I think that's May 23rd and 24th. So
correct. Yep. Saturday,
yep.
Sunday.
Also on pickleball.com, pickleballtournaments.com. Sign up for that. As well as we're hosting the senior games as well, right in June.
Yes, correct. Mid-June.
Okay, mid June. So that's also just for seniors. I think is it 55 plus or what's
Ages 50 and up.
50 and
And
up?
there are two division. Yep. Every division is bracketed into a 5-year age gap, but those could be split or merged depending on signups. There are two skill divisions. One will be recreational, which is about 3.9 and below, and then a 4.0 and above for more advanced players to play in.
Nice. And it's a sanctioned event, I think, for is it senior
Yes.
USA Senior Pickleball Tournament?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Senior pickleball, I believe you get points for that as well based on how you finish in your age bracket. And those points can be used for further tournaments in national senior games as well.
Awesome. Great. One thing I did forget and I wanted to mention is, one big feedback we had from the Winter Classic is that we didn't have singles.
Hmm.
And we will be adding a singles bracket to the rest of the tournaments of the year. So that will also count towards the Springs Pickleball Championship Series. So yeah, for the singles players out there, we got you, and we're going to be, having a singles bracket, as well as we're going to creating T-shirts, for the championship series that guys will be able to get during registration.
Hmm.
So excited about that. Did I miss anything? I think we covered everything.
I think we got it. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Jordan, for being a part of this team and creating this. It's fun to work on this together. We're super excited to provide something special in the city. I think that's both of our heart is wanting to give it a great experience, to not just our members, but to regionally. And we want some more attention for pickleball in Colorado and Colorado Springs, and want it to be a destination, so this is just the beginning, and excited for all of you who are watching to be a part of it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, Jordan, and we'll see you guys at the state games, the next major.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks,
right.
Nico.
All right. See you guys.